the thing that I'm sad about is like this book is so great because you have so much time to get to know all these characters, and then it ramps up into this big
Yeah.
climactic thing, right? Where it's everything's happening at once. And Stephen King's amazing at writing those sequences. At the end of it, there's also something similar, like you're going all the way up to, and now we're going to flash to what is everybody in town happening right now.
Yeah.
So it's all happening at once.
The
It's
cacophony.
so well done, and this is such a satisfying ending to have this feeling of everybody happening, and it's hard to do in film. Welcome to Horror Movie Survival Guide, Disco Citizens, the podcast where gorehounds
And best friends, Terry Gamble,
and Julia Marchesi break down a different horror movie each week,
exploring a multitude of genres, subgenres,
and subgenres,
classic and cult,
international,
and underground flicks alike, determining which films are the goriest,
and offering up Horror Movie Survival Guide tips to
help you stay alive.
Hello, Disco Citizens. Welcome to Horror Movie Survival Guide. I am Julia.
And I'm Terry.
This week we're talking about 1993's Needful Things. Title of this episode is I'm Just One Lonely Guy. The tagline for this movie is Buy Now, Pay Later. Perfect.
Okay.
I got no notes on that tagline. They did it.
Yeah.
Good job. This was based on the novel by Stephen King and was adapted by W.D. Richter and directed by Fraser C. Heston, who is Charlton Heston's son.
Yeah.
So why is Charlton Heston not playing Gaunt?
This is one of the only movies I was reading on the wiki page or whatever. It's one of the only movies he was not in. I don't know whether it was just timing and stuff like that too.
Because I feel like that part's kind of made for him. There had to have been something
probably,
where like he got
maybe his
sick
health
or something.
Yeah, I
like-
imagine that's what it is because he was getting older at that point too. So.
Also, I did not know I was doing Amanda Plummer, who is always fantastic and always
Yes.
looks like the brink of like a nervous breakdown.
Correct.
I love her. Didn't know she was Christopher Plummer's daughter till like yesterday.
She looks just like him.
I know.
I didn't know that till you told me that right now.
They
And I was
look
like,
exactly
she looks
alike.
absolutely just like she has the same little mouth
I
and like
know.
the eyes and everything. And now I need her to sing Edelweiss to me. What the hell?
How did I not know that for all this time?
That makes so much sense. That's also why she's a beast of an actor.
I know.
Because he's also
Yeah.
was like just like one of the best.
So if
Yeah.
you'll indulge me here, Disco Citizens,
Please.
we do have in front of us a VHS of Needful Things, and I'm going to read you the copy on the back.
Okay.
Because I enjoy that, and you get to listen. From Stephen King's #1 best-selling novel comes a terrifying motion picture starring Ed Harris, Max von Sydow, Bonnie Bedelia, J.T. Walsh, and Amanda Plummer. A mysterious new store has opened up in the town of Castle Rock, Maine, and although every item in it has a nerve-shattering price, the owner is always willing to make a devil of a deal.
Ooh.
Welcome to Stephen King's Terror Town, where an evil stranger unleashes a deadly scheme and the residents must pay the ultimate price. Stunning special effects, really, and powerful performances
For the
bring the heart-stopping thriller to an unforgettable climax. Get ready for the final showdown between good and evil. Get ready for the best Stephen King film ever.
I think they oversold.
I do like copy to oversell, but yeah, that's definitely an oversell.
But I do like a hell of a good scare as like the little pull quotes up here.
I
And
know.
then the best movie adaptation from a Stephen King story after Misery, which
Mhm.
no. But okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. The thing that I am sad about though, because the version that I watched was 2 hours, and that there is a 4-hour version. Because you remember we were talking about it, I was like, oh, this is a really
wasn't
long one,
series? Yeah.
and it was a 2-night thing on TBS. So there's 2 more hours that we didn't see.
I'm good. I am sorry. I'm so grateful. It was only 2 hours and 4 minutes. Not that I was counting, but that first hour for me, I was like, this is clearly, that makes sense. It was a slog for me to get through the first like hour and a half. And then when it got to the like, the denouement, the climax and all the stuff's like happening kind of all at once, I was like, okay, I'm in.
Okay.
I'm sold now. But I also at the beginning still love Max von Sydow at any
Right.
time. That gentleman can say words, and I'm just like, please say more words, kind sir. I need to hear your voice. I need to see your energy. And I love that he's trying to be a man from Akron, Ohio. My favorite power move for a man clearly with an accent. Just delightful. I love that kind of stuff.
So we open with Alan Pangborn. So Alan Pangborn is in a couple of Stephen King novels as the sheriff of Castle Rock.
Of course.
He's really great. I really like him, and I don't really love Ed Harris's version of him, but I really like him in the
What's
book.
wrong with his version? What is it?
I don't find Ed Harris. I don't know.
I find Ed Harris like strangely hot.
Like Michael Ricker. Also,
Am I weird? I find Ed Harris like kind of hot. I think it's because it was it Pollock he did or whatever.
Okay.
Like, I think that's why. Anyway,
Michael
tortured
Rooker,
artist.
Michael Rooker also played Pangborn, and I feel like
Okay.
he's better suited. I feel like,
Okay.
but there's a big thing in the novel that he's really obsessed with sleight of hand.
Oh,
And so he's always doing magic tricks throughout the book. And actually, in the end of the novel, he uses his sleight of hand to trick Gaunt, and like he's the one who does it.
oh, that's interesting.
So
Okay.
it's not a
So it's missing that kind of layer unless there was hints of that in the other 2 hours that
Right.
are out there. But I could see that. Okay, that's kind of delightful, but also like kind of like nerdy and great too, right?
Yeah, that's why he's just kind of like a very
Yeah.
like he's a very simple man. But he is intending to propose to Polly, who works at the local diner, and it's very, very cute because
Yeah, they're clearly like in love,
Mhm.
and it's Bonnie Bedelia just being gorgeous, looking like, I mean, this is the girl I want to meet as the waitress at the diner. Like, she's so cutie.
Yeah.
She clearly probably makes the best pies. She just seems delightful.
And she was also in Salem's Lot, so she
Yes.
has her Stephen King connection. But Polly does have very bad arthritis in her hands, so she's turning over some of her duties to Nettie, who is played by Amanda Plummer, because she can't do keys and locks and small fiddly things anymore.
Totally relatable.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I know. Yeah, it's super fun. I know, watching that, I was like, oh, cool.
Too soon?
Too soon, too close to home. I'm like, yeah, anyway. If people are like, I just do that thing. I'm like, cool. It's great if you can. Some of us have not the same dexterity as we used to.
Mhm.
I do my best to keep it up. But then of course we're gonna get a kid on a bike, which I love coming up right pretty much right away. 'Cause
Stephen
it's Stephen
King.
King. We gotta have that. I was like, there he is.
Yep.
Like I was like right away.
Yep, 12-year kid on a bike. There you
Kid on a
go.
bike, and he looks. His name is Brian Rusk, I think.
Yeah.
But like the kid, he reminded me of Brendan Sexton the Third so much. His little face, and I was like, oh, that would be a fun mashup. Then my brain was like, Welcome to the Dollhouse, and I was off on a whole
Oh,
nother.
wow.
Anyway, love that movie. Anyway,
Yeah.
yes, but yeah, different kid.
So he goes in and meets Leland, who is from Akron, as we mentioned, and he says, "What is your
From
wish?"
Akron. That's me with finger quotes. Like,
Yeah,
I
the
don't
most
know.
not from Akron ever. That's why it's
Yeah.
so great.
Yeah.
So the deal is that he will have objects that will be specifically interesting to you.
Yes.
And when you touch that object, it will transport you. So what Brian says he really is looking for is a Mickey Mantle baseball card. And Leland happens to have one signed to Brian,
Yep.
my good friend. And he's like, it's 95 cents. It's because all the change he has. Like he's like, I can't afford this. And he's like, wait a minute.
Let's see what it is. But the price, as they talked about at the top from the copy on this film, is more than meets the eye. So he's like, yeah, just 95 cents, but I need you to do something for me. So Leland Gaunt, Cesar Max von Sydow, is asking for favors alongside whatever the price is. So the prices
just
are too good to be true.
Harmless prank. Nobody, don't worry about
Just
it.
gonna play prank on someone in the neighborhood. Yeah.
I really like this version of Satan or whatever he is.
He's a trickster.
It's so much.
That's what he's supposed to be. He's
Yeah.
supposed to be fun, and he's supposed to be playing tricks, and that's like the vibe of like cool Satan. As I'm wearing my Peaches Christ shirt, thinking about my deities.
Yeah.
But cool Satan is supposed to be fun, right? So he's about to have some fun. He's like, yeah, let's play some jokes on our neighbors and friends.
Sure, of course, no problem. No one will ever respect you. You're fine. So Brian's
It'll
name,
never blow back in your face. It'll never be a problem.
he has a book. He writes people's names in his book that he is working with. Brian's name is written in his book. Then we meet Danforth Buster Keaton.
Nothing wrong with keeping a book with a list of names of people that you're meeting along the way.
I mean,
And maybe
everybody's
taking their souls.
got a little black book. Well, what's a soul between people?
Uh-huh.
So Danforth Buster Keaton is the archetypal kind of Stephen King selectman who is greedy with power, a little weasel of a man who everybody calls Buster behind his back, which is great.
Because his last name is Keaton.
Why would you not want that? I think that's a cool nickname, but I get it if it's the
If
thing.
you're a hey Buster, the connotations of Buster, I feel like, especially after TLC's No Scrubs, continues to be also known as a Buster.
Yeah.
Not a great thing. It wasn't back then either. That's why it was a joke of a name back in the day too.
I don't feel like I hear people use it very like, hey,
we don't
Buster.
use it anymore, but it was like that old. I feel like it's one of those old phraseologies.
I'm gonna bring it back.
Old timey phraseology. Julia is resuscitating the
Yeah.
Buster.
Excuse me,
But
Buster. I'll
It's
do
like
it.
the Baxter and the Buster. You
Yeah.
know?
Oh, I love a Baxter.
Yes.
We learned that Pangborn used to live in the big city and be a big city cop, but it was too intense, so he moves to Castle Rock, but learns that everybody is insane everywhere.
I think that is a pretty common lesson. You travel around the world to be like, everywhere people are a little bit losing their minds.
Yeah. And
Everybody's insane everywhere.
everywhere you go, there you
Yep.
are.
But Nettie, truly, your problems will follow you. Anyway, not that we've traveled anywhere and seen anything, but we've traveled a lot of places and we've seen a lot of things, and I think that is very much the common thing. So Nettie goes into Needful Things, and there's room for another soul in here,
Yeah.
always. So she's welcomed in by Leland, but not necessarily by Wilma, who is also in the shop, who is holding an old French chisel, and Wilma is worn hard and put away wet kind of human person. If she reminds me of somebody who could be in Tremors.
Yeah,
You could
yeah.
plunk her right in Tremors. She'd fit
Totally.
right in that town.
Her and her dopey husband.
Yes.
Yeah.
From the hairdo to the outfits to like the performances that she's giving, it's very broad. I feel like compared to like some of the other people in this movie too.
And
But
she hates the world.
hates everything. I hate everything. Hate it all. Just hate it. And so
Damn it.
I hate it. Hate it. Anyway. She would be the most fun to play, clearly.
But
Like
can I ask what kind of accent Amanda Plummer is doing in this movie?
they
Because
are all doing a different region.
I really thought for a while when she first started out, I'm like, oh, she's doing a Maine accent, like we saw,
Yeah.
like when they tried to do the Maine accent. And I was like, no, not that. Is she Irish? Is she supposed to be Irish? I couldn't tell.
Unclear.
Okay.
Unclear.
I'm glad it's not just me.
Maybe, yeah, I think that was kind of a general note across the board for this film.
Yeah.
And as people are trying to size up each other, they're like, Pittsburgh, where are you from? It's like Akron. No, you not. Like, it's like everyone kind of is a little disjointed
But-
or have all landed there,
Sure.
probably from someplace else, and maybe they're not necessarily proud.
But it's
of
also,
wherever they came
we
from.
know from Stephen King, and especially the small towns in Stephen King, like you are an outsider and will always be an outsider. We're going to continually remind you that you're an outsider.
Like how you're different from
Yeah.
us.
So they'll bring that up and we'll ask where you're from and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So she brings him an apple pie, Nettie.
Yeah.
He knows that her husband was murdered by her 7 years ago and gives her a Hummel
But
figurine.
because he was abusive as well. So
Yes.
it looks like she killed him in self-defense. It doesn't seem like it was like a nefarious, like, oh, but it was like she needed him gone.
So I love Pangborn comes on over, talks to Gaunt, and he's like, "What are you looking for?" And he's like, "Oh no, I don't need anything." He's like, "Okay."
And Gaunt's like, that thwarted my whole thing. Everyone needs something. And so I like that kind of moment too, where it's like the villain's like, oh, like my simple thing. It's like what was it a few weeks back it was in Skeleton Key, where there's all the sugar. She's like, you're not gonna drink the tea?
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna have it? It's like
You always have it.
you always have it. The thing that you think is gonna be an easy layup is just not. So I like that we get that he's already gonna be somebody that's probably gonna cause him some trouble maybe later on too. So Nettie ends up with this little figurine because she's mesmerized by that figure and has visions that flash before her of like that moment with her husband, and she ends up with the figurine. And then we also get our little Brian going out to the turkey farm where Wilma's at, and he's doing his little prank, running amok, throwing some muck onto her sheets, and yeah.
We also have the fight with the Catholics and the Baptists, because the Catholics are having a casino night and the Baptists think that is the devil's work. They have stickers he has made that say no to the devil that Leland Gaunt will not put in his front window, which is great. But the guy who is the Baptist priest is also in Twin Peaks. He's very delightful.
Oh my God, amazing. Yeah, the Reverend.
Mhm.
So we got the Reverend versus the priest, this is so, unfortunately, so true and still so true in America. I grew up within a religion that was like the Catholics were the Antichrist. So I totally felt that. And then the gambling that they did, because they would do bingo nights, was
Mhm.
considered like gambling, which was, even though my last name is Gamble, which is kind of ironic, was evil and all that kind of stuff too. So it's really fun to see this like tete-a-tete between these like two houses of religion. Of course, it's like the only two churches probably in this town,
Mhm.
and they're both like, we're right. It's like Hatfield and McCoy's like all over again.
Endless.
So endless. It's so ridiculous. I worship Jesus right now. I worship Jesus right. It's like, okay, guys, like I don't think Jesus is like into this competition like you guys are. But
Wilma unfortunately does get a face full of turkey muck on her sheets, and of course thinks that Nettie did it because they had their little back and forth in
where
the
she
store.
threatened Nettie's dog. She threatened to kill Nettie's dog. So this has already been ramping up.
Yes. So Buster also, he's at the bar where he thinks that there are people behind mirrors taking down every word he says, and
He's
he
paranoid as
hasn't.
hell.
He has not even met Gaunt yet, right? Like
No.
this is pre Gaunt, and you're like, ooh.
He's
all right.
already pretty ratcheted up, but we realize he's he's stressed because he has been embezzling money from the city to pay for his gambling debts. And so I think he's already in that layer of paranoia because he knows he owes money to people.
Mhm.
He knows he's lying. So he's constantly watching his back. So of course he's going to invent that like the mirror at the bar is a two-way mirror where someone's watching his every move and feels like he's being watched. And his
Yikes.
paranoia is already pretty crazy.
We meet Hugh, who is the
Oh,
town
sorry. Can we also talk about the record
which
player
which
in the
record?
bar? The record player
Oh.
scratches, and so it's like stuck an achy breaky heart. Like on this one line, just achy breaky, my achy breaky, and it's just anyway. It made me laugh. It made me giggle because I was like, that's hell. They're
Yeah.
like in purgatory in
Yeah.
this bar.
For sure. Yeah, I would kick it too. I'd be like, "Fuck up.
Yeah.
Fucking shut up."
Yeah.
So he's real drunk. He's the town drunk, and he goes over to Needful Things. He sees his high school letter jacket in there and is entranced by it. And it's just so sad. He's like, "Before I was a bum." And you're like, "You know you're a bum."
He's aware. He's not an, like, yeah, he knows who he is. And so he goes into Needful Things, talks to Gaunt about who he used to be. And he's like, yeah, this town, I bet they don't even know how, how great you were. They wouldn't even know it was you and all this kind of stuff. So he ends up with this Letterman jacket, of course.
He said he gets to relive the best hour of the best day of his life. And you're like, yeah, that would really, really seduce you. And that's the whole point of it, is like anybody would fall for it. Like they're gonna have something that would call to you immediately. Like I would fall for, I'm sure. And the thing that they don't
I
really
know.
the
I
thing
know what
that-
I would put out there for you.
What would you put out there for me?
I mean, not this VHS, but there would be like some Holy Grail VHS for you.
Yeah.
And you'd just be like, I needed that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. John Lennon just singing the beat, like
Yeah.
Julia over and over or
Yes,
something. Oh, I would
something.
fall for it completely. But they don't
Mhm.
really get into like what the paranoia and how this thing takes over their lives. Where like they're so obsessed with it, because you see her a couple times in the movie. This is Cora, who's Brian Ruck's mother, and she has Elvis glasses on. Did you notice her?
Yeah.
So her deal is, and they obviously she's in the 4-hour version, is that he gives her like Elvis glasses, where her fantasy is like she's in the jungle room in Graceland and he's coming to her. And like, so she's like
Oh.
can't leave the house. That's all she's doing. And so that's why Brian's like running around by himself, because she's
That's
seduced
why
by
he's a
this thing.
child unattended.
Yeah, that's why. So, and then it gets ratcheted up, because then the next step is like, now you're afraid everybody's going to take it from you. And so that's when he starts bringing out the weapons and stuff, because it's like, it's the next phase of this thing. It's the cycle it goes
Which
through.
is kind of what happens with Elvis. Like he got more paranoid and stuff like
Yeah.
that as he got more into drugs and stuff like that too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, poor guy. So so we're seeing, all these people coming through, and the Reverend stops by and asks the Gaunt what his religion is, which I love. He's like, I'm non-denominational, which is just the polite way of being like, I don't ascribe to any of those things really, but also I'm the devil. Hi.
I have some really dirty objects over here you might like.
He has a whole
Reverend.
smut section, which I love. I was like, oh, he read the Reverend hard, because like when you repress so much, the lady doth protest too much.
Mm-hmm.
Smutty things.
And since Polly won't come into the shop, Gaunt's going to come see her at the diner. And he knows that she's had a devil of a time with her arthritis. So, maybe he could fix that for her.
Yeah. So he shows up there and, asks for some coffee. And it's like, scares the shit out of her, really, because she turns around. It's like the place is empty. She's like locking up, but he happens to be in there pretty right away. And yeah. But she doesn't shake his hand because of her arthritis and stuff, too. And he's like, okay, I got you.
So we learn about Buster's horse racing debts, and Pangboard comes to see him. He's like, well, we're having this big meeting tomorrow for the city, and
No, it's the next week.
He says it's tomorrow, doesn't
Oh,
he?
I thought it was the next week, because it's like you have 1 week basically. And
Oh,
he's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
he's like, okay, I can get it in 4 days.
That's
Okay,
right.
2 days.
Yeah.
Well, 4 days really. Like he gives him all these like
That's
random
true.
days, but it's 1 week away where they're basically going to do like an audit. So it's just enough too much time for him to get in more trouble, and like not close enough for it's far enough away where Gaunt's going to cause a lot of trouble in between time.
So Pangborn's like, okay, you can have a couple of days to get it back, which he shouldn't do, but here we
Yeah.
are. But Polly sees Buster and Pangborn shaking hands, and now thinks they're in bed together doing something
cahoots.
shady.
Embezzling more money.
And so Gaunt's like, hey, Buster, I have this game you might like. This horse racing game that predicts exactly who's going to win every fucking time. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, well, bye, Buster. Gone down.
Oh, if you're one of those people who's trapped in that loop of gambling, it's really hard. And if you get something that's literally like your golden ticket at all times, like you're gonna
Mhm.
take it. And so he's like, well, I can just use it, make the money back that I owe. Great, great, great. And then like be out of trouble. This
Yeah.
is perfect. But of course, as we've learned along the way, Gaunt's gonna ask for something else. So there's gonna be some more prices to pay along the way. In the meantime, Wilma shows up to Nettie's work and starts taunting her and orders some awful things and basically threatens her and her dog, which is her thing that's nearest and dearest to her.
Mhm.
Um,
I
and yeah.
I like Gaunt's always, like, there to watch. He's like, "Yeah, let's watch this."
Oh yeah,
That's the fun part.
he's a voyeur for sure.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, this is delightful. I get to watch the havoc I'm wreaking.
Uh-huh. So we have Brian, Nettie is famous for her apple pie, and so she's a very specific brand of apple that she uses. So Brian has a whole box of those apple, and he has to do the second part of his task, which is to break all of Wilma's windows with Nettie's apples, because then that will set that into motion.
Yeah, so he has like incredible baseball skills where he does not just break the window, everything inside gets Hulk smashed from his amazing arm. And so it's like we get like a full commentary from like a real like legit like baseball commentator like next up he winds up the ball and blah blah blah, blah and he's gonna hit and then so it's like you get that whole sequence, but literally everything inside I was like, oh,
Microwave smash, TV
smash everything that's inside, like on the shelves, like all of her
pitcher
glassware,
of milk,
yeah,
all of it. Love
he
it.
destroys the whole house
He does.
basically,
He
like
does.
with this box of apples.
And her husband is out with the turkeys who make so much noise that he doesn't hear anything happening. So then Nettie goes to Buster's house to leave citations all around his house. And this was the thing I was thinking
violations
too,
for what
because
he's been doing around town.
I was confused in this sequence because, as I said, I think I watched the 4-hour version, right, when it
Yeah.
came out. And so I thought of it as a TV movie. But then a lot of the posts is like cocksucker, horsefucker. And I was like, oh, they couldn't have shown this on network TV.
No,
They
they're
would have
really
had,
dirty.
so they had to have had didn't show certain ones or have an alternate edit. Because like, oh, it's like when we were watching Scream for Help and I'm like, oh, it's a TV movie. And I'm like, oh, there's boobs. No, not a TV movie.
It's not a TV movie.
Okay.
Or unless it was like on like HBO or something back in the day or something like that, where they could show some of the bad things.
But the tickets are signed by Norris Redgwick, who is a deputy who Buster does not like.
It's his nemesis.
And Hugh has the task of destroying. I mean, he really has kind of the worst one out of anybody, right? Like the kill the dog, and it's not. Do you think he tells him specifically what to do with it, or does he just
how to do it?
Because
I imagine he gave him some guidance because it is pretty awful because it needs to look like the implement that we saw Wilma with towards the beginning, which was this like old timey, like basically trowel scalpel thing from like the Louis the 14th era or something that she was like, this looks like an old piece of shit. Like, you're just like, girl, this is like some amazing old artifact that you found. And so it needs to look like it was done by this implement. So I'm sure he gave him some sort of guidance as well.
Yes, the dog is skinned. The dog does not live. I am sorry, folks.
Yeah,
it's true.
That's the part that's the most awful for me. In the movie, we see it for 2 seconds, but it's enough where it's awful.
We are down for a hell of a fight with Wilma and Nettie just going at it. I feel very satisfied by this fight. I feel like they really
they went to town. Yeah, and so you can tell they literally from the beginning they already had rage against each other, but you can tell that Gaunt has ratcheted that the heck up.
I think that's what I like so much about Amanda Plummer, right? Because she can play this kind of mousy, don't look at me kind of character, but also, oh, you're insane. There's also like she can turn it so far
She's
up
on the edge.
But I feel like a lot of actors who are able to turn it up as high as she can't do the other side where they're like just like, sweet or normal, or they always
she can do the turn. I feel like it's like her and like she reminds me of like Lily Taylor.
Yeah.
Have a very similar that kind of energy where you're like when she's like Joe lies. It's like say anything again. I guess I'm bringing that up again. Another week, another say anything quote. But I feel like they have that similar kind of energy where it's like lady on the verge of a nervous breakdown kind of vibe in the best possible way. Just captured so beautifully. But yeah.
So Gaunt gives Polly a necklace. He said it is an Egyptian Azka. It's white magic. It just wards off the pain. She has to wear it next to her skin and never take it off. And when she touches it, she gets a flash of a demon, perhaps Gaunt, scrumping her. And then she puts it on and it takes away her arthritis
it's a dream,
pain.
a vision, if you will, of him ravishing her like in the hottest of ways. She's
Yeah.
got a nice little silk nightie on, and you're like, wow, okay, Bonnie Bedia, okay.
Yeah, I know.
It's pretty hot, but her hands immediately feel better, and she goes from like literally not even be able to put the clasp. She's actually asking for, can I get my medication? He's like, you're about to not need it, girl. You're about to not need it. I'm gonna put this
Mhm.
on you. She's like, and all of a sudden, just the peace she has. She looks so comforted. It's just really
Mhm.
sad.
Yeah. And poor Brian is losing his mind because he realizes what he has done, and he threw those apples, and that he set off this chain of events that he didn't know was going to happen, and now he feels responsible for the deaths of Nettie and Wilma. So you have a 12-year-old kid with a gun being like, all right, I'm out of here.
And he's really scared, but we also, I think right before this too, just I love that we have the priest, the reverend and the priest like doing dueling prayers like over the ladies. Like,
Yeah.
okay, it's like they're still fighting as they're praying, saying like using the words of the Lord against each other
Hmm.
right before this. And Brian almost confesses to what he's done to the police, to the sheriff. And you could tell he wants to tell so badly that it's like, I'm the one who did the apples, like just so you
Right.
know what set it off. But he feels so guilty for him being the one who does that.
But Alan is so smart. He can see right through it, and he
Yes.
knows. And he also knows Nettie didn't throw those apples because if you're going to go kill somebody, why would you destroy their house first? Why would you throw a bunch of apples? Like, you
Yeah.
just go in and kill them. So he knows it doesn't make sense. So in this version, they say Brian's okay. He's going to be fine. In the book,
Yeah,
not.
nah, he's gonna off
No.
himself for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, I just feel like that was like I was like, oh, they can't do it for the
No, they
TV, and
can't.
also like they cut away really beautifully, which I was like, thank goodness. But and he's gonna be okay. But is he gonna be okay? I don't think he'll ever be okay now.
I love that Gaunt loves Buster because I was like, that's the kind of person Satan wants, right? Like this
He's a
despicable,
perfect minion. He's
horrible
disgusting. He's a
person.
little
Like,
slimy,
yeah, you're like, oh,
right?
you're perfect. I love you. You're like a little Renfield. I'll like, do my bidding.
He's already doing some questionable things before he meets him. So he's already game to do some more nefarious things, right? But he's also smart enough and has enough access where he has access to more people
Sure.
than a lot of other people probably around would. So yeah.
So now this is where Gaunt starts straight up giving guns. And he's like, okay, everybody, it's time to arm yourselves. We don't want them to take away your object, do you? And here's the little thing. And
He's
he says,
arming Satan's army.
yeah, he says, in the end, I always offer them weapons, and they always bought. He also says that he knew Jesus Christ, a promising young man, died badly.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so he's, it's interesting though. So now we get Polly with Pangborn, and he's like, you know what? He's ask her about the necklace. And like she's like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He's like, what's in that thing? He's like the disease that looks like a cure, right? And so it's like that thing is actually, you think it's helping you because it's helping you physically, but everything else is going pear-shaped. So he's getting wise to this whole game because he's the one guy who didn't really need anything, right? So
And so, of course,
mhm.
she won't give him the necklace. She won't open it, and he leaves. And so then she's like, okay, well, maybe I really should see what's in it. But when she tries to pry it open, she gets
Zapped.
when she takes it off, her hands immediately seize up back into.
They look worse than they did
Yeah.
before. They like crumple and just look like deformed almost, and in incredible arthritic pain. And so, of course, Gaunt is going to appear, and she wants to know what's inside it. She finally is like, "Hey, what's inside there?" And he's like, "I don't think you really want to know,
Mm-mm.
but for $20, I'll put it back on you, and if you do another small favor for me." So she's like, "Okay, I remember the relief. What sort of favor?" Because she's already in so much pain.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
The favor is he wants to have sex with her, right? Which we see that he does, but that is like never mentioned again. Isn't he? I would assume is impregnating with her like an antichrist or
That's what I
something,
thought
right?
too.
And I was like, so the end of the movie is not really the end of the movie because
Yeah,
now
she's
she's
gonna
gonna.
have a baby of his,
But that's
right?
just not. It's just kind of brushed aside. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, all
Yep.
right. Antichrist on the
Yeah.
way.
Oh my God, I can't wait. I think he's
Mm.
already here. Anyway, so Pangborn goes out to his boat to see what she was talking about because she basically told him, she's like, hey, like I saw this stuff out there that looks like you and Buster were up to no good. And so he sees all the stuff that's there. Her ring has been left there and a bunch of money and a bunch of stuff that does look very incriminating. And then Buster goes home and he has to deal with his wife Myrtle, and oh God,
Yeah.
it's not good.
No. So it's this whole thing of Alan finding Gaunt's paper trail. It is now realizing that he's not a human being. He's dealing with something different.
Oh yeah, he finds a stack of like newspapers that have
Mhm.
all these like awful things over the last like 150 years basically that have happened that are
Um,
pretty awful.
there is one thing about this movie that I am sad about is that Ace Merrill, who is the bully that Kiefer Sutherland plays in Stand By Me,
Mhm.
is also in Needful Things.
Oh,
So it's a kind of thing where like he got caught when he was younger and then came out of prison and now he works for Gaunt. So he's a big part of the story that is not in this at all.
got
But I
it.
just love that character who's so random is just like he's in this too, but he is not in this version.
Well, that is for all you book heads, all you constant readers out there to
That's
enjoy
us.
for sure. Because I could see how there's already like too many characters in this movie. I can tell you that for sure. Like even trying to keep up, I was like, okay, hold on, wait. They hate each other. No, they hate each other. No, these are the two. Because everyone has like a double.
Right.
Everyone kind of has somebody that you're going up against, for the most part. And the people that are not going up against each other are like Brian and Pangborn, but they still kind of have like tete-a-tetes where they have
Right.
scenes together.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to keep track of. I got a little lost. I definitely did go to the Wikipedia after, and I was like, okay, wait, just to double check because I
Mhm.
was like, I even the names because they're using nicknames for each other, and so it's a lot to keep track of, my dear friends.
Well, and
And
I think
considering we're losing 2 hours
sure.
too.
And that's the hard part of it is like in the book, you have so long to learn to know all of these characters and why they hate
The
each
speed
other.
at
And
which
that,
you're
right.
getting the information
Yes. And
too.
so this is like, you
Yeah.
can't do that with every character. And so you're getting this really
No.
compressed. So it doesn't feel as satisfying, I think, because you're like, why do
Yeah.
they hate each other? We don't really know.
Yeah, we're getting these little mini vignettes.
So Norris and Buster end up in a fist fight and they handcuff Buster to the car. And
Yeah.
then Norris gets a little cocky and he ends up getting knocked out. And so then Buster is able to drive his car home to his wife where he is all
But he's
bloody.
handcuffed, and his wife he's like, "Get me out of here! Get me the tools I need to bust." She's like, what did you do, dude?"
Yeah, and so she gives him his tool, he gets out and kills her.
Reluctantly gives him the tools because
Yeah.
she's like, "Should I?" She has a drill in her hand at first, and she's like, "You look like she's about to kill him." You're
Yeah.
like, "Is she gonna kill him?"
I would
Like,
say, like, you walk away, you leave that room. You
yeah,
leave him there
I would let
because
him just be stuck to the car.
something is not right. So
Yeah,
then
before she gets murdered. Yeah, you right.
yeah. So, now she calls him Buster is why he murders her. That's
Oh yeah,
his whole
that's his
fuse,
trigger.
his button. So, Gaunt invites Buster to go to his shop and now he is part of the thing. Hugh goes into the bar with a shotgun to kill the bartender, but the bartender also has a shotgun, so they simultaneously shoot each other and they are dead. The thing that I'm sad about is like this book is so great because you have so much time to get to know all these characters and then it ramps up into this big climactic thing, right? Where it's everything's happening at once. And Stephen King's amazing at writing those sequences. At the end of it, there's also something similar, like you're going all the way up to, and now we're going to flash to what is everybody in town happening right now.
Yeah,
So it's all happening at once.
the
It's
cacophony.
so well done, and this is such a satisfying ending to have this feeling of everybody happening. And it's hard to do in film.
I think it just depends. I think we would need to trim the story even a little bit more. I know they're trying to do so much, but it
Sure.
is so hard because I know they are trying to obviously stay loyal to King's writing. But I feel like sometimes that is sometimes what suffers in these adaptations of his work because of that. That is the challenge though, right? It's like you can be great for the book, but it's not going to always work for a movie.
Sure.
Cinematically speaking, I think this could have been pared down even more. I think this could have been there's a 90-minute version of this story that's incredible, and that's what I believe. But so we get the priest and these guys now, of course, we come to the church. We're going to have the big denouement of explosions and things like that because the churches are right across the street from the Needful Things shop as well, too. So we've got, Alan Pangborn coming and talking to the priest and trying to reason with him. And he is not reasonable at all. And it is devastating.
Nope. He's like, oh, okay, that's not going to help. I thought maybe you would help me knowing about the devil and be exorcist and stuff. And he says no, but Buster has planted a
He's
bomb.
trying to help cover up for God. Like
Yeah.
you're like, oh, you are working for the devil. So it does come true that the Catholics notice.
Ah.
Messy.
Oh my, oh my.
Yeah.
So, and Leland says to Buster, you're disgusting. I like that in a person.
Yeah.
So the church explodes, but luckily both people survive. And now there is chaos on the streets of Castle Rock. Everybody's fighting in the street. And
And even the priest and guys are saying, damn you to hell, and all hell is broken loose. You're like, oh no, even the men of God are noticing that it's terrible out here. And they're still fighting as the churches are burning behind them.
Yeah.
And Leland even says, let God sort it out. Like, let God sort them out. Like, I'm going to let
I'm gonna
let
watch
it
you
ride
guys.
and watch. Yeah.
So Alan has to give his big old speech. What are we doing, town? We love each
But he
other.
gives like warning shots because he looks like he's gonna shoot one of the like men of the cloth to like stop them from killing each other. But he ends up firing these shots up into the air to get everyone to freaking stop and listen.
So he says, and Gaunt, they realize what they've done. Gaunt is, you're so pathetic, puppets. Buster
And he
shoot.
tells no more killing. He tells them no more killing
Yeah.
everybody.
Buster shoots Alan, but he lives, and he is wired to explode the whole town. And he says, "Don't blame me, blame the bossa nova."
He's so ridiculous. But he also understands as they, tell him that as Penguin reasons with the whole town, he's like, can't you see? Like, and they're like, oh yeah, you right. Everything got bad when this guy came to town. And this is like, we are under this spell. But Buster knows that he's gone too far after killing his Myrtle. He's twanged. And he's like, well, since I already took my girl out and I can't fix that, I'm going to take myself out. And so, but he's not going to do it alone. He's going to grab our dear Leland Gaunt. He grabs him and pushes him through the window of needful things so he can explode the needful things and himself along with it. But
Gaunt's
is he going to
fine.
take Gaunt out?
No, he's fine. He's gonna brush the dust off. He's time to move on to the next
He
place.
likes the heat.
Yeah, no problem. But goes over to Alan and it's like, hey, by the way, I'm gonna meet your grandson in 2053, and we're gonna make headlines. So good luck.
Yeah, I'm going to meet him in Jakarta of all places. I was like, oh no. Yeah. And he drives us in his beautiful old classic, like vintage Mercedes.
Yeah.
It's pretty gorgeous, but also nefarious because like old Mercedes, I just think of like, you know, Hitler.
Oh,
sorry.
My goodness. Okay. So how does this rank for you as far as the devil on screen?
I love him. I love this version of the devil. He's great. Max von Sydow saying anything and also pretending to be from Akron, Ohio.
Yeah,
it's just the little details and his delight, like when he's singing favorite things along while he's like giving out like terrible things to people. He was it's one of those moments where like he's so delighted playing it. You're like, oh, he had a really good time.
Yeah, he did.
Like
there was
delightful.
I was reading about the movie and they said so. The director, who was Charlton Heston's son, played Moses in 10 Commandments. He was the baby Moses.
Oh, cute.
And so they said at one point they saw them, the director talking to Max about his performance, and somebody quipped, because Max von Sydow also played Jesus, right? So he says, you're getting to watch Moses tell Jesus how to play the devil. So
kind of amazing.
Pretty good.
That's great lore. Look at that. Oh, we love lore.
So how do you survive needful things?
Oh gosh, you don't go in the shop.
Yeah, it's an anti-consumerism kind of movies. Don't shop. That's what's going to get you.
Because you don't really need the thing because the price is greater than what you think it is. Right. It's like, I think about that more and more as like anything you buy. It's like, okay, what is the supply chain? What does that look like? Who does that really affect? Trying to like shop less from the internet, and because it's like how many trucks have to get my item here, right? So I guess don't buy stuff from a sketchy stores, but once you're in. But I love a sketchy store though, Julia,
and I would just want to be in his presence, so I would totally be in there.
He would get us.
Oh yeah, I no doubt.
Yeah, you probably have like some random vintage vinyl that's like in the window, and I'd be like, I need it.
That's the sad thing about it, is when you see this thing, like, oh, I'd be dead. They'd get me. I don't know. All right, let's do some gore factor. Sure. 1 is not enough blood to fill the Dixie cup. 2 is a puddle of blood. 3 is enough blood to gross out the average viewer. 4 is bathtub of blood. 5 is run for the barf bag. This is a 5. We get some good gore in here. I mean, Nettie and Wilma's fight alone is pretty fucking bloody.
We love Stephen King, and we're gonna get some violence and we're gonna get some gore.
But I would really like to watch the 4-hour version, because they couldn't show a lot of that. They couldn't show a skin dog on TV. No. Like there's a lot of stuff that it's be a completely different edit.
Yeah, it was a lot, and I honestly don't need to see that, so I'm good.
The thing is like I found out about this is my nerd confliction.
Now you need to see it,
because I found out about the 4-hour version before I watched this one, and I've seen it before, obviously, on TV. But then I was like, well, I can't watch that one because then it won't match to what Terry has seen, so I have to watch the 2-hour version. But I really want to watch.
You could have watched the 4-hour version.
No, because then my version would be completely different from yours.
And I would have been okay with that.
That would have been weird. But I am going to watch it. We will find out.
All right. Let me know all the gory details we missed.
You don't care. It's cool.
Nah. I mean, I care, but I want it because I want to hear you talk about it, because I like when you get excited about things. Obvi, that's why we're here.
Thank you.
Movie ratings. Chainsaws. 1 if you're desperate. 2 barely qualifies as a horror film. 3 seen worse, seen better. 4 not too shabby. 5 fantastic oracle. This is a 3 for me. This is not my favorite movie, but I really enjoyed Max von Sydow, and I will watch him do anything. And Bonnie Bedia being hot and making pie. two of my favorite things.
It's true. It's true. I give it a 4. I
Mhm.
enjoy the performances, and I think they're doing the best thing they can, but it's not quite there. So this isn't.
It's
This
like
is
too much and not enough. I'm gonna say that. That's
yeah.
what it feels like with this movie. It's just like, okay,
Because
like,
you know me, like
yeah,
what I want is character, right? So
yeah,
reading a book like this is thrilling because you're getting adept to every single character you're meeting here, and then like getting into this big climax. So like there's a really beautiful flow to it that doesn't. I don't feel like we have
the
that flow in
shorthand of
this.
motion picture. Sometimes you know you're getting all the words in a shot
Yeah.
versus
I
paragraphs,
and
right?
I don't this isn't one that I would recommend to people if they were to ask for like what kind of Stephen King movies they should watch.
Nah,
And I don't necessarily, I'm not on the remake train, but that being said, I feel like this one there's a better
it's
movie out
right
there.
for an adaptation. Absolutely, re-adaptation for sure.
Check back in with us in 5 years and it will
Honestly.
already have been done.
It's probably like in development
I
right now,
bet.
like as we speak, because I feel like with you're talking about the like message of like mass consumerism, stuff
Yep.
like that, unfortunately still evergreen and even more dire right now. I think that would be, a nice revisit. Again, back to Castle Rock, babies.
Always, never going to be sad about that. Thank you for listening to our talk about Needful Things. If there's a Stephen King film that we haven't covered that you would like us to cover, let us know. We have done a lot of them, but there are a lot out there. So there we are.
So many.
So many.
So many.
So if you'd like to talk to us, we're on all of the internet things. We would love to hear your thoughts. We would love to take your suggestions. You can buy our merch on Teespring, or if you want to support us on our Patreon. I'm on 2 other podcasts with Jodorowsky, all about Alejandro Jodorowsky and his wonderful works, his comics and movies, and also the Losers Club about, hey, Stephen
more
King.
Stephen King. Wait, what?
If you want more Stephen King,
Word.
if you want to hear me talk about Stephen King, there's so much
There's
more
so
out
much
there.
more, and you've read all of it too.
Yeah.
So that's the thing about it. So Julia comes with a font of knowledge, and so much more. You are my Stephen King like a guru, if you will. And so I've learned a heck of a lot more than I probably ever could have, would have about Castle Rock and all the side characters, because Julia loves the side characters more than probably sometimes the lead characters, depending on the property, which is incredible.
Knowledge forced upon you.
Yeah, no. Honestly, I gladly give it to me. I will be your receptacle right here. Because I throw out other stuff right back to you. We do it. That's what friendships are built on.
That's what
Friends are for. We also do another show if you want to hear us talking more about horror just in general. We do a show called Horror X. We interview different women and femmes in horror each month. The last Thursday of every month at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on the Garf Network. That's the George A. Romero Foundation YouTube. You can check that out. There's a whole beautiful back catalog of episodes I highly recommend checking out with some incredible creators that we've got a chance to interview along the way. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a beautiful week.
Long days and pleasant nights.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. Horror Movie Survival Guide is independently produced by Terry Gamble, Julia Marchesi, and Sierra Ryan. Hey, that's me. If you would like to support the show, find us on patreon.com/horror movie survival guide.